Liverpool set price tag for Luis Diaz amid Barcelona and Bayern Munich rumors, and it looks like a typo. Liverpool have named their price for Luis Diaz, who is wanted by Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Liverpool have named their price for Luis Diaz amid interest from European giants Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Arne Slot has added to his Premier League title-winning squad by recruiting Jeremy Frimpong, Florian Wirtz, and Milos Kerkez this summer. Both Frimpong and Wirtz, who cost a club record £116 million, joined from Bayer Leverkusen, while Kerkez moved from Bournemouth in the region of £40 million. A player who worked under Slot at Feyenoord is also on Liverpool's radar. But Liverpool also planned to offload players, with Trent Alexander-Arnold signing for Real Madrid. Harvey Elliott and Darwin Núñez have also been linked with a move away from Anfield. Not to mention Diaz, who joined Liverpool from Porto for £37.5 million in January 2022. Diaz has made 148 appearances across all competitions since signing for the club, scoring 41 goals. He played 36 league games in his side's league-winning campaign. Luis Diaz helped Liverpool win the Premier League last season. So, despite being a key member of Slot's squad, the club would be prepared to let him leave if they receive a good offer. According to German outlet Bild, Liverpool would sanction Diaz's transfer if a deal worth €82 million, £71 million, is tabled. However, Barca are reluctant to reach Liverpool's figure and will pursue a move for Marcus Rashford if they cannot strike a deal with the Premier League champions. Manchester United's Rashford is also on Barca's radar as they seek to strengthen their forward line ahead of the new season. Barcelona will pursue a move for Marcus Rashford if they cannot strike a deal with Liverpool for Luis Diaz. Bayern, however, could stump up the cash as they look to replace Jamal Mousiala following his horrific injury sustained in his side's club World Cup defeat to Paris Saint-Germain. Musiala suffered a fractured fibula and will be out for at least 4 months. His injury has accelerated the need for Bayern to bring in attacking reinforcements, with the Bundesliga champions making Diaz their top target after looking at Athletic Bilbao's Nico Williams and PSG's Bradley Barcola. The Colombian is also attracting interest from Saudi Pro League outfit Al Nassr. Jadon Sancho pushing to get Man United exit sorted ASAP. Man United winger is reportedly close to finally leaving the club for Italian giants Juventus with a basic agreement in place. According to journalist Alfredo Padula, Juventus and Man United have agreed to a fee of €25 million, £21.5 million, $29 million, for the 25-year-old. The fee is understood to be slightly less than the obligation to buy Chelsea had in their loan deal, which they ultimately got out of for a fee of £5 million. Chelsea were keen on keeping Sancho at the club beyond last season, but were unable to agree a deal with the player that would be within their wage structure. Juventus are yet to agree terms with the England international, but are understood to be offering him a salary of €5 million, £4.3 million, $5.9 million, plus bonuses. Here we go. Newcastle agree deal to sign Anthony Annan from Nottingham Forest. Club-to-club agreement now in place for £55 million fee, as personal terms have also been agreed with his camp. New winger, an excellent addition for Howe. The Magpies have found the right-sided winger they had been looking for. Despite the spectacular season Jacob Murphy enjoyed last term, Newcastle were keen to bring in an upgrade heading into the summer. Initially, Eddie Howe and company had wanted to sign Brian Mbeumo, but the Brentford forward quickly made it clear to Newcastle and his other suitors that he had his heart set on a move to Manchester United. This forced the Magpies to sound out different options, and Elanga quickly emerged as the standout option, with the Swede believed to be an ideal stylistic fit for Howe's side. At 23, Elanga still has room to develop, but he is already a proven Premier League performer who is not afraid to do the dirty work defensively, despite his attacking drive. Newcastle agree Elanga deal. After seeing an opening bid rejected 2 weeks ago, Newcastle have now agreed a deal to sign Elanga, according to Fabrizio Romano. The Transfer Insider reports that the St. James's Park Club and Forest have settled on a €64 million fee. Elanga has agreed personal terms on a long-term deal and is now set for a medical ahead of his move to the Champions League side in what is a transfer that will not only delight Newcastle. In 2023, Elanga signed for Forest from Man Utd, and the old Red Devils regime had the foresight to include a 15% sell-on clause in his deal, which means that the Old Trafford outfit will benefit handsomely from Elanga's move. Although the 15% only applies to the profit turned on Elanga, this still amounts to a sizable €7.2 million for Man Utd, as Forest only paid €16 million for the Swede 2 years ago. Sporting president Varandas rejects Arsenal's latest €65 million bid for striker Gyökeres. Sporting president Varandas rejects Arsenal's latest €65 million bid for striker Gyökeres. Sporting Lisbon president Frederico Varandas has rejected Arsenal's latest bid for striker Victor Gyökeres. The Gunners are closing in on a move for Gyökeres, who has scored 97 goals in 102 games since joining Sporting Lisbon back in 2023. The Swedish international has been linked with both Arsenal and Manchester United in recent months, but it looks like the Red Devils' interest has died down. Arsenal are pushing to strike a deal for Gyökeres, but their recent bid is wide off the mark as the Portuguese side try to get it the best price possible for the 27-year-old who is in his prime. Speaking on his YouTube channel on Monday afternoon, journalist Fabrizio Romano confirmed Varandas had rejected the deal as negotiations stall. There was a new contact last night between Arsenal and Sporting to try to accelerate and close the deal on the transfer fee package, and so club to club with Sporting. But Sporting and their president, Frederico Varandas, are still not accepting the final details of the proposal made by Arsenal. It doesn't mean that it's over, but obviously I don't want to give you a feeling of a negative update, but it's part of the negotiation. So yesterday there was a new club-to-club contact, and Sporting are insisting on €70 million fixed fee, while Arsenal were starting at €65 million plus add-ons. Sporting wants €76 million, so that's the position of the club. Arsenal have signed 2 new players so far this summer in Kepa Arrizabalaga from Chelsea and midfielder Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. Gyökeres could be their 3rd summer signing, but the club must up their bid to match Sporting's demands, or manager Mikel Arteta could head into the season without a world-class striker. Manchester United Outcasts hold up Bryan Mbeumo transfer as risky. Ruben Amorim ban could backfire. Ruben Amorim's plan to banish the Manchester United Rebels and Outcasts could blow up in his face as they hold the cards to the Red Devils transfer window and are scuppering the Bryan Mbeumo deal. Ruben Amorim's Man Utd Outcasts hold the cards to the transfer window. Ruben Amorim will feel like he's having the last laugh on those Manchester United Rebels who want to leave. Ansto, blocking them from returning to training because he can't stand the sight of them is a bold move. And it's a brave one too, because it's also one now in danger of blowing up in his face. The Portuguese is becoming increasingly frustrated with the summer so far. If he's not careful, he will discover to his cost that the likes of Marcus Rashford Co. will be laughing the loudest and longest. Rashford, along with Jadon Sancho, Anthony and Alejandro Garnacho, were not welcome back at Carrington when the squad returned for preseason training today, Monday. The official line is United want to give them more time to resolve their futures, and time is what this lot have. The transfer window doesn't close until August. In the meantime, Rashford and his band of not-so-merry men can hang around picking up combined wages of £750 a week without having to lift much more than their mobile phones, let alone a finger. Bryan Mbeumo's Man Utd move has hit a stalemate. A quick call to their respective agent just to see if there is an escape route in the offing. If not, then all of them can sit tight and wait for the right club to come along. And in the process, put the brakes on Amorim plans to sign their replacements. It's no secret United have to sell before Amorim can buy. An exception was made with Matheus Cunha, but United no longer have that well of cash to dip into as and when they choose. Man Utd want to offload both Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho. It has run dry due to a combination of overspending in the past, meeting financial regulations now, and the reluctance of co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe to repeat costly mistakes. United have made 2 bids for Bryan Mbeumo, but Brentford want more. United can't deliver more, or don't want to, hence the stalemate between them and Brentford. Anthony and Alejandro Garnacho are also on the chopping board, and this will become a common and frustrating theme for Amorim until the fire sale he has planned gets ignited. But those star names he once shut off continue to hold the matches. The power and control rests with them. The Portuguese coach should be applauded for not accepting nonsense from the quartet. But he also has to accept that such a hardline approach could have consequences he might not like. And the more desperate United look, the lower the value of these outcasts becomes. Jamal Mousiala injury leaves Julian Nagelsman in shock as Germany and Bayern Munich star ruled out for several months after Gianluigi Donnarumma collision. Julian Nagelsman says he was in shock after seeing Jamal Musiala's horrific injury as the Bayern Munich star has been ruled out for months. Musiala stretchered off in Club WC clash. Bayern confirmed fractured fibula, surgery required. Germany lose midfield star for qualifiers. What happened? During Bayern's Club World Cup quarterfinal against Paris Saint-Germain in Atlanta, Musiala collided with Paris Saint-Germain goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and sustained a broken fibula and an ankle injury. He was stretchered off in tears, and Bayern later confirmed that the 22-year-old will undergo surgery and be sidelined for several months. It was his first start since returning from a muscle issue, making the timing especially cruel. The bigger picture. The injury is not just a blow to the Bavarians, who were eliminated from the Club World Cup, but also to Germany's 2026 World Cup campaign. Musiala, seen as one half of Germany's creative future alongside Florian Wirtz, will likely miss the remaining World Cup qualifiers to be played this year. German coach Nagelsmann now faces a major challenge in navigating qualification without his star playmaker and felt a huge shock after the injury. What Julian Nagelsmann said: Nagelsmann reacted with deep concern after the setback, offering strong words of support for the Bayern star. He said, "Jamal's injury is a huge shock for all of us. He had only just fought his way back onto the pitch following his muscle injury. Our thoughts are with him. Jamal can count on the support of all of us in the national team. We wish him all the best for the operation and a good and speedy recovery. That's the most important thing right now." What next for Musiala in Germany? Musiala is most likely to miss 6 international fixtures through the rest of 2025, including crucial qualifiers against Slovakia, Northern Ireland, and Luxembourg. Germany will have to rely more heavily on players like Wirtz, who himself has struggled with injuries. Nagelsmann's focus will now shift to ensuring qualification without his midfield linchpin, while hoping Musiala can return to fitness in time to be part of the pre-World Cup preparations in 2026. Jeremy Frimpong looks ready to make instant impact at Liverpool after being spotted training hard. Liverpool are due to return to pre-season training next week under the enormous weight of Diogo Jota's tragic death. Jota was in the process of making his way back to Merseyside when the car he was traveling in caught a flat tire and crashed. Both he and his brother, Andre Silva, were killed. As a result, Liverpool will have one space in the dressing room missing when they come back to the AXA training center. The pain of that fact will not go away anytime soon. The thoughts of every Liverpool supporter are with those closest to Jota in the wake of the tragic death of he and his brother. The Liverpool squad are certain to be deeply affected too, and at the moment it is difficult to see what pre-season will look like. Nevertheless, it has been confirmed that Liverpool will regroup on the 8th of July ahead of their summer schedule. One of the players who will join up for the first time is Jeremy Frimpong, who has been spotted working hard ahead of his first day as a Liverpool player. Jeremy Frimpong, working hard ahead of Liverpool's start. For new players like Frimpong, Florian Wirtz and Milos Kerkez, it may now become harder to assimilate and settle in at Liverpool. The mood around the club is as dark as it possibly could be, and the knock-on effect of that could have an impact on those new signings. However, Frimpong is clearly working hard to make sure he is in the best possible shape on his first day on the job. As personal one-to-one football coach Kwaku Oheming posted on his Instagram stories on Saturday, the 24-year-old is undertaking intensive training before joining up with his new teammates. Frimpong could be seen running drills in a park in Wilmslow, Cheshire, and it is fair to say that the former Bayer Leverkusen man looks primed and ready for action. Frimpong's pace can be seen up close in the video, with his touch and finishing skills also looking mightily sharp. A dark cloud is certain to hang over Liverpool's pre-season, and perhaps even for plenty of the campaign to come. But Frimpong looks ready to make his mark nonetheless. Difficult for Frimpong and new signings. While the thoughts of everyone should be with Jota and Silva's family first and foremost at this heartbreaking time, spare a thought for Frimpong and his fellow new signings as well. The Liverpool squad will be grieving together. They all knew Jota inside and out, with most of them playing with him for 2 years or more. To come in from outside of that, in brand new surroundings, is going to be hard for Frimpong, Wirtz, and Kirkes. They will need plenty of help. Frimpong seems like a confident man though, and it will be vital to him to have the support of his close friend Wirtz. Under normal circumstances, Frimpong looks like he'd be ready to take the club by storm in his first weeks. In these desperate times, it may take a little longer. Either way, the Netherlands international looks like making a mark will not be difficult for him.